Hello gamers and welcome back to the JRPG Report. This is episode 129 for your listening pleasure. We are back. We've got a jam-packed show full of good news tidbits to go over in the JRPG world. It's going to be a lot of fun, so let's just get right into it. We kind of teased a little bit last week that we would learn a little bit more about the next Trails of game. So actually tomorrow, August 27th in Japan, The Legend of Heroes Hajimari no Kiseki will come out. So just to kind of maybe take a little bit of edge off of that one, President Kindo of Falcom said in the latest issue of Weekly Famitsu, let's go ahead and talk. Now, first thing, he wanted to talk a little bit about Hajimari and the fact that there will be a new major update on October 1st. It's going to add the True Rev Recorder EX, which is an enhanced version of that corridor. It will include additional layers, episodes, playable characters, increase the cap level. Says it incorporates information that ties into the next game. That's where it's important. And of course, there's going to be PlayStation VR support in the Vacation at the Beach minigame. Let your imagination go wild with whatever you want to as far as VR and all the Legend of Heroes characters at the beach. I'm not going to dive into that one. Not touching it. So let's get into what is really interesting about this one, and that is, I guess, the next game. So keep in mind, Cold Steel 4 doesn't come out for 2 more months. Hajimari no Kiseki in the West. Let's be conservative and say it comes out next holiday season, right? I dare say it probably could even slip into 2022 if things don't go well with the translation. Let's talk about the next game after that. This is the game it's not going to be a sequel to Hajimari no Kiseki. It is not part 2 of that. That game is a game within itself. It ties up loose ends. Now, not to say they won't be connected, but it is not going to be the sequel. In fact, he says, please don't worry, and actually laughs. Places that they have not... this game is going to be in a completely new setting. So, not exactly sure what that's going to be. Where the series has not gone before. That's basically the only thing that we know so far about this one. Take what you will. It's interesting to see where this one's going. He says information about new places, organizations, and characters actually appear in Hajimari no Kiseki. He says, I recommend you play through the main story, Reverie Corridor, and extra scenarios to get some clues about what that next game is. Now, this one is where it gets a bit dicey, and I don't exactly know what to tell you. It says, action time battles are no longer. Hajimari no Kiseki is its swan song. These are command battles with action elements and greater real-time nature without an action time bar. This is a type of battle that's never been seen before. So what does that mean? I'll be honest, I don't really know what to tell you. It wasn't like whoever was interviewing the magazine, kind of pushed back and said, hey, wait a second. So basically this system that you've built up all this time is going to be no longer. What does that mean? Obviously, this is so far early in planning stages. It's not exactly sure what's going to be and what's not going to be. All it's saying is this has never been seen before. Now, the first thing that popped in my mind was it's just going to be different than it was before. So I kind of read into it that it's a little bit, and don't quote me as this is exactly what's going to be, but maybe it's something more like Atelier Raza, to where you are commanding, or I will say Ryza because that still maintains the turn-based aspect of it, rather than going full action with command options like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Both of those were enjoyable, but I can't really imagine Legend of Heroes going that action route, although anything is certainly possible. I mentioned Ryza because that still maintains strategic turn-based items. There was still an order to it, although it kind of says, that the action time bar will be gone. It will become a command battle with action features and a lot of real-time elements added. We're just probably going to have to wait and see what Falcom has up its sleeve. We're going to be waiting a long time until we know what they have up their sleeve, but I just thought that was pretty interesting. It's nothing like what I expected. I expected just continuing the evolution that they had going in these two, in the last two Cold Steel games, what they were doing in Hajimari, and just kind of making something awesome in this new engine, utilizing what they had done and built on for so long. Maybe that's just not good enough anymore. I don't know what to tell you. So initially I'm kind of like, oh no, what are they doing? But we know literally nothing about it, and until we really see it and learn more, I'm going to kind of hold off on judgment as far as that goes. So the last bit of information that was in that article mentioned, his last statement was, the cast of characters is largely different. The important characters that have all appeared thus far are present, but the characters that lead the story are new. And there are hints of this all throughout Hajimari no Kiseki. So that's pretty much everything that was in the article, at least what's been translated and we've got our hands on. As soon as I hear any more information about this, of course, I'll pass it along to you guys, as we always do each and every day. The upcoming unorthodox JRPG, Yakuza Like a Dragon, will be coming to the West for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on November the 13th. This, of course, PC version will be via Steam and the Microsoft Store. Publisher Saga and developer Ryoga Godako Studio announced. Yakuza Like a Dragon will also be available for Xbox Series X on the day of the console's release in November, as well as PlayStation 5 at a later date. Of course, those new systems still don't have, oddly enough, they still don't have a firm release date, and they still don't have pricing just yet. I think a lot of that has to obviously do with the fact that we did not have our big trade shows this week. Those might have been announced at those. Since we didn't have them, they're like, well, we'll just kind of hold off. I don't know. Going along with that announcement, Sega released a new trailer dubbed How Will You Rise?, which shows the protagonist alongside the other party members and swapping out more than the 20 unique job classes that are available throughout the game. Ichiban, the lead character, he envisions himself as the lead character in an RPG, and his battles take the form of turn-based RPG battles. I encourage you guys to check out that trailer. It is available, of course, over on the JRPG Report YouTube channel, and it does show all those different classes and different uniforms. This game is obviously going for a unique, humorous take on the genre, and those different outfits are reflective of that. So yeah, go check that out if you're curious about this upcoming game. You don't have to wait too much longer. Yakuza Like a Dragon coming out in the West on November the 13th. As we do just about every week, well, especially now, every week we're doing an update for Eiyuden Chronicles Hundred Heroes. This week, last week we mentioned there was going to be a teaser trailer coming out for it, and it did, and it showed what they called the United Hero Attack. Very short little video, about 30 seconds long, but there's a lot of information going on in that. So it actually shows a battle. It has the 6 heroes in battles against, what are those enemies called? What do they call them? Planbinos. Look like little plant-like enemies, and it does show them kind of on that little cliff area that they've shown in other trailers, But there's what I thought was interesting is a little menu that pops up right at the beginning of battle. There's a lot going on in this screenshot that here. So of course it's got the 6 characters, and they are maxed leveled. Level 99, HP at 999, MP at what's it? Yeah, 999 as well. But there's the initial menu comes up, and you have 4 different options. You can fight, support, auto, or escape. So this one actually chooses auto, which is interesting, and it automatically pulls up the United Hero attack. So it shows 2 of them going off on there, as we've seen in plenty of other Suikoden titles, a joint attack between 2 characters, and this one pretty much, obviously at level 99, you're going to wipe out pretty much any of the standard fare enemies that are going to be thrown at you. But it is flashy, it's pretty, it makes you just, if you weren't already crazy excited about this upcoming game, which is still 2 years away, you're going to be even more so when you see this. It is a awesome video. Updating its Kickstarter, it is just about to end, and they have reached some other goals. Let's see if we can get into that. Of course, this thing changes each and every day. Let's see. And this one was 2 days ago. They're getting very close to the $4 million mark. At 3.6, they hit the all hands on deck card battle mode. This is your typical TCG minigame. Supposedly taverns throughout the game will have NPCs that can challenge you to matches. It kind of sounds like Triple Triad from Final Fantasy VIII, or Trails of Cold Steel 3's Vantage Master. And just personally, I don't care for those games in my JRPGs. I know a lot of people do. It's just not my thing. At 3.7 million, the stretch goal is the Playing Favorites ranking mode. This one's kind of interesting. It's an offline and online data collection service that keeps track of who people are using. The one comparison is to how they do it in Fire Emblem 3 Houses, or in Catherine, shows the choices other people's made. You saw it in Persona 5, where you can see what different people chose to do for their day's activities. It sounds like this would work similarly, only Eiyuden Chronicle would let you know who tags along with you and who other people are adding to their party. They did reveal 2 more stretch goals as of this writing. At 3.8 million was the Heart of Gold. Then there is a second backer vote at 3.85 million, which is something only listed as Patience. Back at 3.275 million, we got the Marissa DLC has been funded. She was one of the first characters announced, the dark scared female character with the staff. Trying to think what else that they had on there. This DLC will be a 5 to 10 hour story focusing on her, and that players will get this added on for free if you are a backer of this Kickstarter. If you are not, then you get to pay for DLC, just like every one of us. This will end, actually, as of this recording, will end on August 28th, so just 2 more days to get this one all the way fully funded. It's getting there. Remember, their initial goal was $500,000. So they, and maybe that was being conservative. They probably had a pretty decent idea this one was going to be successful. I think the last I heard, it's now the 6th most, by the numbers, it's had the 6th most amount of funds added to a Kickstarter program in history. That says all you need to know about how rabid fans are for this type of thing, and how excited people are to potentially see this game. Like I said, it's not going to be for a while, not until 2022 in the fall, but it looks like it is in very good hands, and we should see the fruits of their labor here eventually. And that does remind me, I've been Been trying to remember so hard to go and do that. I need to go and do that today before I miss my chance. Got some smaller stories that broke today during the Nintendo Mini Direct. I think they were spotlighting on a smaller independent people, and some information came out of there. I'll go ahead and also tell you, this is going to probably be a little bit shorter on today's podcast. There wasn't a ton of stuff coming up, and I didn't have any other listener reviews to read, so today it was announced that Monster Rancher 2 will launch for the Switch via the Nintendo eShop, iOS via the App Store, and of course Android via Google Play on September 17th in Japan for 2,820 yen. Koei Tecmo announced. They showed a brief little trailer to go along with this. It was part of the whole Direct, so I've just downloaded that. I've got to cut it kind of up and piece that together. I'll have that on YouTube. It might be a little bit. Things are a little hectic today. But so yeah, that was announced. Still no word on if that one's coming to the West or not. Didn't see this one coming, but Square Enix has announced Collection of Saga Final Fantasy Legend for the Switch. It will launch on December 15th worldwide. In Japan, it is called the Saga Collection. So if you're like, what, Final Fantasy Legend? That kind of rings a bell. What was that? And you older gamers will know, of course, those Final Fantasy Legend games were the ones for the Game Boy. This collection includes parts 1, 2, and 3. Here is a brief overview. The first 3 games are coming to Nintendo Switch in one collection. The first Game Boy RPG to sell over 1 million units, and the memorable first installment of the series, Final Fantasy Legend, a title that gained popularity through its refined gameplay system and the journey through a diverse world, Final Fantasy Legend 2, and a unique story that traveled across time and featured a new and innovative character level system. That's Final Fantasy Legend 3. This collection includes new enhancements like high-speed mode, as well as unique features to the Switch, such as adjustable good grief. Adjustable screen magnification and game screen background customization, featuring compatibility with, of course, handheld mode, but also on TV mode and tabletop mode. Furthermore, this game also revives the nostalgia of playing the original by enabling vertical usage of the console after removing the Joy-Cons. That's pretty cool. Take your collection on the go with handheld mode, share your journey on your TV, and remove the Joy-Cons to get that retro Game Boy experience. Also, of course, there was a video to go along with that. That just broke. It'll take me a minute, but I'll get that over there on YouTube at some point for you guys to check out. Was this a part of that as well? Maybe it just broke at the same time. No, it's part of it. There's a Nintendo logo. So, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory will launch for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch on November 11th in Japan. We'll get it 2 days later, November 13th, in the West for $59.99. So they're getting they're getting a full game out of this one. The PlayStation 4 and Switch versions will be available physically and digitally. Pre-orders are now available on the Microsoft Store and eShop, and soon on the PlayStation Store. Users who purchase the game via the PlayStation Store by December 31st will receive a Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory theme. Of course, this one is the little musical game. So here is the overview. In Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, a whole host of familiar Disney friends, foes, and adventures await. Players will experience the magic of musical exploration by traversing through worlds packed with rhythm game action challenges, as they collect and master over 140 songs from the Kingdom Hearts series along the way. Whether alone or with friends and family via local co-op, I'm not doing too well today, via local co-op and online multiplayer, players will need to defeat tough enemies and bosses to achieve the top ranks. Through 3 different playstyles, gamers of all ages can choose their level of challenge, depending on whether they want to enjoy the songs and adventure without complicated controls, or showcase their skills with complex combos and put on the ultimate performance. Again, trailer to go along with it. I'll have it up at some point today. That seems like a pretty good spot. We'll take it to the podcast. I don't want to Forget to mention, give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got daily videos going on almost every day there. As well as, if you get a chance, wherever you're listening to this podcast at, don't forget to leave us a review, or at the very least, just click on 5 stars. You know, it's probably good. Nobody, who does a 4-star review? Come on now. Put 5 out there, and that'll help bump us up the rankings so that all those people who want to listen to the podcast are able to do so. We talked a few months ago that Atelier Raza, Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideouts, was the highest selling game in the Atelier series. Well, they have now surpassed 500,000 units worldwide. Publisher Koei Tecmo announced a good benchmark for this game, and obviously further kind of justifies them wanting to make a direct sequel coming out here next. Not too long, just a few more months, and we'll be getting the sequel to that, to the Rise of Lost Legends and the Secret Fairy. In Japan, December 3rd. We'll get that Western release date sometime in the winter. But I kind of feel like maybe since they announced that one, this original got a little bit of a boost and has seen some sales, as people want to get in on this series before the new one comes out. That's always a smart idea. We had talked, you can check out that trailer as I've put it on the YouTube channel. Also over there is the Inside Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition Developer Diary. This is featuring who's on this one? Akakishi Kawaza, the original Chronicles producer, as well as Toshiyuki Antahana, the original character designer and art director. So actually this was filmed back in 2018, but it talks to them about it, maybe the original, what they were doing, and then moving forward on it. It's a long interview, I think about 18 minutes. So if you want to check that out before the game comes out in just one more day worldwide, August 27th, you can do that over there on our YouTube channel. We've been getting a steady stream of new screenshots for Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster. Well, there's, I think, about 24 new ones. That's what I gathered up. I put those together into a little slideshow, so if you don't like clicking through images and waiting for them to load up, I mean, good grief, some of these images, I swear, it takes longer to load the image up than it does just to watch a video. So I said, why don't I put all these onto one short little 2-minute video, put some music behind it, and you can just watch it like an old-fashioned slideshow. You can do that on our YouTube channel, of course. So these screenshots, they start off with our boy Dante from Devil May Cry. The original Demon Slayer, is back, and he is a playable character. I think you got to pay for him, if I'm not mistaken, but he's on there. There's some various demons that you'll be seeing in this one. A mysterious old man in a wheelchair, a lady in black, as well as showing off some of the Fiend Fusion, the Labyrinth of Amalia, as well as some other cool looking things. So if you want to check that out, you know where to head to, or if you just want to glance through the pictures, you can do so via the link either on our Facebook or our Twitter accounts. If you played Persona 4 Golden on your Steam account here recently, and you're like, man, forgot how good that was, I would rather just watch this as animation. Well, if you have Funimation, you can now watch that, as Persona 4 the Golden animation is now available on that service. I believe this was an addition of 25 episodes in this one. No, I'm sorry. Whereas the original animation adaptation was 25 with an OVA from blah, blah, blah. This Persona 4 Golden anime adaptation comes from A1 Pictures and is only 12 episodes long. So that's kind of short and sweet. You can probably get it all done in 12, depending on how long they were. People in North America and Canada can watch it with Japanese voice acting and English subtitles. if they choose to do so. Of course, this can also be found on Crunchyroll if you've got that service. You could have already done that apparently before. Speaking of Persona, this may be kind of hard times. Maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck, but you still got your need for some Persona cool merchandise. Well, there is a pre-order going on starting now. You can do that for Haru Okumura. She's got a new figure, and this is from Persona 5 Royal now, because it's based on her all-out attack finish. Kind of her sitting down for her cup of tea with her axe at the table. It's got the table, it's got the chair, and it's got her all complete. I believe there's even, you can have mask on or off, the hat on or off as well. It is a strikingly good-looking figure and set at 1/7 scale, measuring at 23 centimeters. Now, you say, oh man, that sounds awesome. Let me go ahead and put down that pre-order, and then you click over there, and I don't know what you'd expect to pay for this, but I've not got $185 just laying around to spend on that. It's super awesome. It's probably worth it, but man, that is expensive for a figure for sure. I've seen that, here recently, that there's been some pretty expensive figures coming out, and especially with everything going on in the world, it kind of makes it like, wow, I know I ain't got that laying around, that's for sure. Monster Hunter World Iceborne Developer Diary Final will be on August the 28th. As the name implies, this will be the last one, and include details of the 5th Developer Diary update. You can watch that final at 2100 Japan Central Time. There wasn't a whole lot of information going on about what this was going to include, but just let you know that this one is very similar to the other ones, and it'll be the last one, as Monster Hunter World Iceborne is currently celebrating its 1-year anniversary. So there'll be kind of final update on everything that's coming up for Monster Hunter Iceborne. The last story I want to talk about is really no surprise, but Square Enix saw strong sales in the last quarter from Final Fantasy VII Remake, Trials of Mana, and Dragon Quest Walk, amongst other titles. So this was the quarter ending back on March the 31st. I dare say it's going to be even better for next time. Like other companies during the first quarter, Square Enix saw a big boost in sales and profit during the lockdown, most notably in digital sales. Profits were up about 33 billion year over year. So that's pretty good. Like I said, I dare say it's going to, oh wow. Yeah, here's in digital alone. Is that right? Oh my goodness. It looks like that in the first quarter projected sales for 2021, it's pretty much the entire, they made in one quarter what they did all of the year before, it seems like. So obviously a big title like Remake helps with something like that, but with the way it was, digital was the way to go for a lot of these things. So yeah, there's a lot of information that's in this article. I shared it over on our Facebook and Twitter channels. You can check those out if you like. But yeah, we're seeing that all a lot of different places, that sales were pretty good digital, and you can expect that's probably starting to level off about right now. Physical is still, you can still get physical from many different places and get it shipped to you, but just the ease of digital was a bit hard for people to pass up, especially while they're all cooped up and totally couldn't really leave their homes. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's podcast. Like I said, it was going to be a little bit shorter today. Wasn't a whole ton of things going on, but we had some fun talking about a few different things here and there. Don't forget our Sunday special coming up this week. We're going to be talking with Hans all about some how it is gaming over there in Europe, some of the differences between himself and I over here in the States. And I've got another interview actually coming up the week after. Still trying to nail down the details, but had a young man contact me who just released a game on Steam, I believe, and he's going to talk about it and the game making process, some of the JRPGs that inspired him to make this game, as well as others. So, still trying to get all the details of that. I'll kind of tell you a little bit more about that one next week. That's going to do it for episode 129. My name is James Fisher. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys again on Sunday and again next week on Wednesday with more news all about the JRPGs we love so very much. See you guys next time. Get back out there and level up.